has one of the biggest names in all of the game of football. Do you expect Deebo to actually be a difference maker for the Commanders?
Depends on what you think a difference maker is. I do think that Deebo Samuel goes into Washington and he automatically becomes Jaden Daniels' number 2 threat. Behind our guy, right? Scary Terry. So I think that a lot of it has to do with how Cliff Kingsbury can use him. If Cliff Kingsbury uses him like a Swiss Army knife and gets him more than 12% of touches, which he got in San Fran the last 2 years, I think he's still got a little bit left in the tank. A difference maker to me, though, it means can you elevate the quarterback's play to a Super Bowl? Because their ceiling right now, they got to the NFC Championship game with a worse roster, and they got all this space. They got to sign some guys back. They're going to be better this year. It's just how do you put a playmaker in, and can you elevate a quarterback's game? It really depends and comes down to Cliff Kingsbury, if I'm being completely honest with you. Now, if Deebo stays healthy, he is one of the top 2, 3, 4 playmakers in the game. However, sometimes I've seen places, and I've never been around a Deebo Samuel, but if you're in the offensive coordinator's office or you're in the head coach's offense and you're drawing up plays and you're circling, all right, these are the Deebo plays we have to get him involved in, and then you circle one and you have 12 left and it goes for 3.2 yards. You're like, well, dang, man, like how many times do you keep going back to him to try and make it work? So I don't know. I mean, this is a very fascinating conversation. He's 29. He's not getting younger. Right now, I don't know if the signing of Deebo puts them a level above.
Because the level above to me is the Eagles. I think Deebo Samuel is a difference maker, but is he the difference maker? That's the question, right? A difference maker, duh. You can win games on the back of Deebo. Remember, Niners go into the link 2 years ago. Deebo catches 3 touchdowns. I think 2 were screens to the crib. Deebo is a kick returner this year. They put him back as a kick returner, and instantly he takes one to the house and gets called back. But I think he averaged like 28 yards or so kick returning. Deebo is a difference maker. Is he the difference between an NFC Championship game and a Super Bowl? I can't suggest that. I think the Commanders still have other vacancies. Even on offense, they got to figure out. They still got to figure out an explosive running back. I don't know if that running back is in the building. So you still have pieces, but Deebo's a difference maker, 2-5. I just don't know if he's the difference between them and
I think he is. He's not Travis Hunter. He don't play offense and defense. He just plays offense. So let me ask you this. Do you think the offense will be better?
Of course. Duh.
And I don't want to look at it as if we grade in Deebo, his impact, if they win a Super Bowl or because the NFC Championship is hard to get to. The Cowboys haven't been there since I was born. It's been a long time. Okay. So I do think he makes a difference because he is really good. And I think that y'all not understanding that when you look at the Niners offense, you're surrounded by all pros. So now, as a coordinator, like, I got to get, all-pro tight end, I got to give him the ball, check. Okay, all-pro running back, I get him the rock. All-pro wide receivers, 2 of them. Like, that's a lot to do, right? But now, when you look at the offense, you got a possession tight end, Ertz, right?
Free agent.
He's not even there right now.
Zacchaeus was second in receiving.
I go to all the number 2 receivers. I'm not even talking about them because Deebo's taking over that. And then the running backs, I mean, that's by committee. It's by committee.
It is.
So now when you go to looking at circling these plays for Deebo, now we got it went from 12% with the Niners. We might need 22%. You get what I'm saying? And I think we have a superstar quarterback that has off the charts talent, right? And I don't know where his ceiling's at because he's so good. Now you add him with Deebo. Now it's like you got to circle and watch where Jay's at, right, the quarterback. Now you got Scary Terry on the left side. And oh my God, it's Deebo motion to the left, motion to the right. It's so many things you got to watch out there for. So I just think that we're not putting a little bit more respect on Deebo because Deebo is a phenomenal talent. And I think with the right coordinator, you're going to see how great he really is.
Yes, he will be that difference maker. And
that's right.
Talking Super Bowls, that's tough. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't care what team you are right now, other than the Eagles and the Chiefs, it's hard to really get to them games and win them. You know what I'm saying?
Back to back and all that.
So that's going to be tough. But when I just look at them offensively, he's going to be a huge difference maker. So we got to deal with Jaden Daniels' arms, which is stupid crazy. Then we got to deal with his legs.
Crazy,
which is stupid crazy. Then we got to worry about Scary Terry, and now we got to worry about where Deebo lines up at and the gadget guy / playmaker that Deebo Samuel is. How do you play him, Acho? Let alone them find a tight end that can run. Let alone them get a running back that can go back there with Jaden Daniels. How do you cover or try to stop the Washington Commanders offense on top of trying to tackle Deebo. Because that's what people don't understand. And I know
That's the hard part.
I know people
That's
quickly want to go to
that's
him
the
having
hard
a
part.
down year last year, but Deebo's a problem with that rock in his hands to tackle. And if it's one-on-one tackle, I'm putting my money on Deebo Samuel every single
too.
time if you want to shade
1,000%.
some of that coverage over there to Scary Terry.
From a player's perspective, like I think it puts more. If I was his teammate, if I was Deebo's teammate, new teammate in Washington, or his quarterback, I would think that this move puts way more pressure on Deebo. Because what Shady said, and I thought about it, and it makes complete sense what you said, is you said, man, they had to deal with CMC. They had to deal with Ayuk. They had to deal with Kittle. You're probably their fourth option. The second you walk in that building, you're the number 2 option. Acho, if you're on defense, you play the number 2 option way more than the number 4 option. We have never seen Deebo in a role where you're playing the number 2 option. Because the years that he had, now I know he had some down years, but he had 1,400 yards receiving. He's been their fourth option at all times. That's the fact, though.
I can't say that.
When you're Kittle, CMC at time, okay,
Remember,
we'll say
CMC just
at
popped
times.
up. CMC just popped up.
Okay, the last other years.
Yeah, he was probably.
You know what I mean? Okay,
Yeah.
say 3. Say 3.
say third.
He's never. But you play the third option way different than you're playing the number 2 option.
Correct.
I don't know if Deebo. I think Deebo can handle it. 1, can he stay healthy? 2, he's never been in that number 2 playmaker role full time because this is what this moved for.
That is
Zacchaeus, both Browns, Austin Eckler, Zach Ertz, they're all free agents.
If we're also,
how are we saying
that's true though, James.
That's true.
It's not true.
What aspect of it is
We've
a
never
lie?
seen him.
How are we just all these dudes that you're calling all pros and all this type of stuff? Every single game they didn't just ball out.
They didn't.
Every single year they didn't just have all pro
I'm
games.
saying
game to game.
The only thing he's saying is
From
that
a defensive
Deebo
coordinator's
has
perspective.
never been the consistent number 2.
He's
We
never
can
had
say
to
that
be.
about a lot of them boys on the Niners, though.
I'm saying it's
Because
a proven year
Deebo has
for him.
taken over games too that Ayuk hasn't. So we can say Ayuk, and same with Kittle.
Kittle's always been top 2 though, Jay. Kittle, like,
Kittle
but
has best
I don't,
receiving
but I
year
don't
this
even
year.
want to me, it's this. I think the Commanders have just now entered the conversation of offensive competency. Like, as much as we're talking about it, the Commanders' offense is still not as scary as the Eagles. It's still not as scary as the Lions. It's still, you know what I mean? Like, Deebo just finally made the Commanders'
But you got the guy behind
offense,
center.
like, relevant. Because, again, Scary Terry Deebo, cool. A.J. Brown, Smitty, Goddard, Saquon. Like, let's stop. Scary Terry Deebo, cool.
Lions.
Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra, and the other speedster in Jameson. Like, so Scary Terry Deebo.
Give me one more offense on NFC.
So-
No. Give me one more. That's because that's pretty good.
Scary Terry
49ers, maybe?
Deebo, cool. But Niners are so hurt. It's hard for
But
them.
if you can Kittle and CMC, if they're healthy,
If they're healthy,
better.
but they're just so hurt. Like,
yeah.
to me, like, Deebo
see what I'm
just,
saying? There's not a lot of
Deebo just
offenses.
finally made them in the conversation of taking legitimate. Even I would suggest the Packers, you start naming all 3 of their wide receivers. Plus, I mean, I would take the Packers
can
skill
I-
positions
Can I-
over
can I-
Scary Terry.
My thing is, if I look at a guy like Deebo, I look at the head coach for the Dolphins, head coach from the Chiefs, head coach from who else? Offensive skill. Kyle Shanahan, I would say him, but Sean McVay. If you have Deebo in your offense, though, like it makes the offense even bigger, though. It's already hard to stop them dudes because a coach like that could put him in ways to make plays.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? And now
Way more
it go from being giving them ball, making plays. Now, okay, decoy routes, decoy plays,
expand
and
your
then you add on to it. I can see Andy Reid hours and hours all day drawing something for Deebo. All right, he hit this week on this play with Deebo. Okay, next week we're gonna have the same type of play, but he's the decoy. And then you're gonna keep adding to it. And I think the same thing when I look at the Washington Commanders, when I look at their offense, they're gonna do the same type of stuff. So as we talk about Deebo, I guess with the Niners and how that turned out, that's that. I'm telling you, matter of fact, do y'all want to place a little wager that he's gonna get over 1,000 yards all purpose? Because y'all don't think he's. I love superstars, and I know y'all don't like superstars like that.
He's only
so
done it
can
twice in his career,
I know,
right?
so it's probably easy bet for you then. Easy bet. You got a nice watch.
Let me ask you this, though, real quick. Hold on, we in the locker room, Jay.
I know, 'cause I
You
wanna say
you're a superstar. Hold on. We in the locker room.
They don't want the bet. They said,
No, we might take the bet. We in the locker room. You keep calling Deebo a
money too
superstar.
much.
Based on
Playmaker.
what? No, I'm talking to 2-5
because-
to me it's offensive to you to call Deebo a superstar. One-time Pro Bowl, one-time All-Pro. Now he's a superstar for one Pro Bowl, one All-Pro. To me, that's why I'm confused.
When you have a category, when you're one of the best in that category in the whole